Hello and welcome to Limitless, the show that brings you love and inspiration on a Saturday morning. And today we have amazing guests on the show. Yes, I said it, guests, plural, two people. And of course, the same family. Reverend Errol and Reverend Sharon Doyley will be joining me in just a few seconds as we talk about their lives, ministry, and all that God is doing in their life. Of course, we always have the best of the best on the show that will truly, truly bless you. So without further ado, I would love to introduce Reverend Doyley and Sharon Doyley on the show.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Maria. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
It
having
is
us.
my pleasure. Thank you for coming on the show. Good morning.
Good
Now, of
morning.
course, there is a new song that we're going to be listening today called A Brand New Me.
Brand new.
Absolutely amazing song and so apt for this season. We're going to talk about that later on. But
Yeah.
of course, I have to introduce the fact that, you are the singer of the song, Reverend Errol. And of
Yeah.
course, Sharon, you wrote the track as well. So we
Yeah.
want to find out about your inspiration and everything about this track. So let's start from the beginning. So I know that you made your name, Reverend Errol, in the 80s with
Yes.
the Opportunity
Opportunity
Knocks.
knocks. Yes.
Tell us
Yes.
about that. How did it happen?
Yeah. Well, in fact, before that, we grew up in my parents were devout Christians. My father was a reverend, and ever since I knew myself, we were involved with singing.
Yes.
My mother was a singer, a renowned singer in her own right from Jamaica. She came back. She still is. So we picked all that up from mother. In fact, there's eight siblings, 7 boys and 1 girl, and so it was always involved in singing. And in fact, it actually started with my second eldest brother Dennis. We first started singing, and then my other brothers joined. Anyway, to cut long story short, there was a show. Because of all our singing, singing in and around London, etc., we was asked if we would mind appearing on this talent show called Opportunity Knocks, which back in the days was the equivalent to X Factor, And so me and my 4 eldest brothers, Freddie, Dennis, myself, Errol, and Trevor, we went on the show, and which my father, who's no longer with us, sadly passed away. He was the one that introduced us to, I don't know if you may be too young to remember, Huey Green. He was the presenter of that show. So we were privileged to sing on that show, and thankfully we won. It's true. We went back 2 weeks running, and that's how it all started. We started singing in and around London, traveled to America. And that's where it all started for us in the gospel scene here in London.
At such a young age, though, to be exposed to so much of the limelight, how did you manage that?
Yeah, I think if I remember, I may have been about 13 at the time. Yeah, so it was 13. Freddie was 15, Dennis was 14, and I was 13. Yeah, so we were very, very inexperienced because it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And we had all these different producers and managers coming, but we had no idea.
Yeah.
And but all we wanted to do was sing, because that's what we know.
Yeah.
That was our gifting. And so it was a bit of a sort of it happened very quickly. I was traveling here and singing here, and sadly we got involved with a production or a management team that not everything really went well after that, but we did have that's where we kind of made our name from, the Opportunity Knocks, traveling the length and breadth of England, really. Sung at the Royal Albert Hall.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, we've sang in America, sang at the Jesse Jackson movement. So we've been around and done quite a bit.
Did you ever have thoughts of carrying on, between, because obviously it's a space of time since those days now, and I know you've been doing a lot of amazing things, but did you ever think about maybe continuing a musical career perhaps at the time?
Yeah, we did. I think when things kind of we weren't so much involved in the singing, because as my brothers and I got older, everybody sort of got married and we moved away from home. It was more difficult to get everybody together. So we didn't do as much as we used to back then. We still come together occasionally for weddings and special special occasions. So we do still sing together, but not as much. But where my involvement is that I was a choir director. I did practically everything. I was a youth director, and in my church now, I still run the praise and worship. So I'm still very much involved in singing, and always felt that one day I would do something. But the timing always has to be right. Yes. People always say, "Oh, Errol, when you're going to do something," but I knew that it was in me to do, but it was just when. So yeah.
I know it's people always think that as soon as you're in the limelight, multiple people are seeing you, and you're out there in the public, and of course in the media, that you made it all of a sudden. And I think God's ways are so different, isn't it? Because
absolutely,
He exposes you. There's a refining and there's a perfection that He needs, so that He reflects His glory. And so, as far as I'm concerned, I think you've done extremely well. Obviously, you've gone into the church and ministry, and
right.
Lovely Sharon as well. So, do you want to tell us about ministry life as well? How did you get into that? I suppose it was destined, wasn't it? But how did you?
I guess it was destined because I said before, my father was a minister. He was a pastor. He had his own church. And before he passed away, I was I was put in that position to pick up the mantle, as it were.
Yeah.
And in fact, even before Dad passed, I think I always say I felt that Dad saw something that I couldn't see, because I remember him always pushing me forward and saying, "Errol, you got to do this, you got to learn that, you got to do the baby christenings, you got to do the funerals, you got to do." So I was very much involved, and then. In training, and then sadly Dad passed away, and I took over the church. So I was the leader of the church, and it was years after that. So as you said, it was probably destined for me to pick up the mantle, because we were very close. My father and I were very close when we birthed the church. I was there with him from inception, and so when Daddy died, I took over the ministry. And then a few years after that, I actually felt the calling of my life to actually step out of that organization. And the Lord spoke to me about starting my own ministry, which I'm now involved in, called Bethel Ministries. So yeah, I think the seed was sown from a very early, from the early days of my life. And so I guess it was destined that, one of us would pick up the mantle. But in fact, a couple of my brothers, my other brother Dennis, he's a minister as well. So we've still all kept in the church. But I guess I've sort of, just kept going really. Yeah. So,
So, the David in the family.
Oh, yeah. So that's what, so I'm very much involved in ministry and choirs, etc. And then, and then this all happened, I said, Sharon came into my life, and as they say, the rest is history.
So tell us now, Sharon. Obviously, you wrote this song, and you guys make a wonderful union. So you've written the song, and this is for both of you, really, because we want to talk about the song, but we want to talk about why now, because obviously, I've already said God's ways are the best time to illustrated by God. But what revelation did you get that led you to know that this is the right time to go back to your singing in the public, and to just to do this on this platform now, where the world is literally seeing you? At the moment, we're talking to a number of different people on numerous different platforms, and it's going out live. So why now? What's the revelation? What is, tell us.
Go.
Is that for Errol?
Well, we could start with you, Sharon, because you wrote the song.
Well, it was in a time of lockdown, actually. So it's almost as if lockdown was a cocoon for many people, and I think looking at it as a cocoon, sort of a metamorphosis takes place, doesn't it? Things are taking place behind the scenes. So my husband had broken his ankle at that time. He was in the back garden one. I think
that was another story. He
was in the back garden playing football because he was sort of like a good goalkeeper back in the day, weren't you?
Yes,
so the children and the grandchildren
were 16 again.
And he went to save one of them,
a shot from one of the,
and he broke his ankle. So in the time of the lockdown, he was physically unable because of the cast that was on his ankle. So one morning he hobbled down to the keyboard and he was playing, and I was listening, and it was almost as if I could hear words from the keys, and I just started writing. But there was a combination of things going on at the same time. So it was a combination of things that inspired me with the words. So a brand new me. One of the things that we were dealing with at that time, which is something that we don't really, but it was a part of the writing, the making of the song. One of our through marriage we have 4 children, and one of our sons, he had an accident, and by that I used to encourage him and say, Luke, look in the mirror every day and say, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new me. And so the words coming from the keys, it just brought everything together. For the lockdown, things are going to be different. It's going to be a brand new day. When you get up and you get out and you rise, it's going to be a brand new day. The lockdown is not going to be forever. It's going to be a brand new us. And
it was a happy song.
It was a happy song.
Yeah, a song that could relate. And even in writing the song, we were sure. I said to Sha, we wanted that it really, I wanted it to be able to be appealing to
a message
for
anyone through any circumstances, of any gender, any age, any faith, just a brand new. Old things will pass away.
So it was specifically written in terms of the different types of music that we try to, we've got gospel, we've got a bit of jazz in there, we've got, I don't know, you probably a
bit of Afrobeat,
So and it's been getting good reviews, and we was invited yesterday down in Nighttown in Oxford Circus, where they played the track, as a over
in Nighttown
yesterday. They played it right through on all floors. It was that was right.
Well, that's amazing, because obviously now you are literally transcending to different kinds of people and taking it out there, which is exactly what we're instructed to do in Matthew, isn't it?
The commission.
Yeah, that's right.
Great Commission, exactly. And I think that that having that upbeat, encouraging, coming out of because we are metamorphosizing all the time, aren't we?
That's right, we are.
But there was a point, actually, I like that you said that, because there was a point in the lockdown where I did get a lot of people saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Oh, this is good. And it was like, oh gosh, do you know what? I don't feel like the Lord is not saying not yet. And when I went back into prayer, what I was believing was that there is still a refining. A preparation.
That's right.
See, that lockdown was an amazing time for God to do a new thing.
Do a new thing, exactly. And it's like a purging as well, and a pruning, because Jesus is the true vine, we are the branches, and we can't produce fruit except and God being the husband. We're pruned, we're being pruned, we're being refined. And and this brand new is a birthing of a brand new mindset, a brand new zeal, a brand new vision, just a brand new desire, just brand new strength even. But behind the scenes,
definitely.
There's so much going on.
I think the lockdown has, we've learned a lot through lockdown. It's taught us a lot.
Time of learning,
Time of learning. As my wife said it, I guess had it not been for lockdown, we perhaps wouldn't be here now, because it was during that time when I was at home for nearly 5 months. I came down and the inspiration was there. I just felt the inspiration. I knew that we was going to, accomplish something. And thank God.
I'm just wondering, you know when you'd hurt your ankle and you were limited to what you could do. did that make a difference? Because obviously we were already limited to the fact that we couldn't come out of our front door, like we usually do, and do the usual activities. But you're now having to stay stationary in one place. So that, did that make a difference, do you think, as far as what you're doing for you and through you?
I think sometimes God works in ways that we sometimes don't understand, because I'm the sort of person, I go.
You can't pin him down.
I know I've got to do this. There's many times I've come home and I said, right, I'm going to try and get a song together, but just so much going on. And so much going on. I think during lockdown, I was able to focus, to refocus, to rethink, to re-strategize. And I really...
Definitely hard to pin him down. He's a hard worker, and you're normally out by about 5 o'clock in the morning.
So what the devil purpose for evil?
He turned it round. All things work together for good. They do. They do.
And I can understand it. I was so frustrated, and but I realized, and a lot of things that has happened during lockdown, I think, wow, that what we've learned even about each other.
It's true. That's true.
It's amazing,
and you know what as well, Maria? In the scripture, the widow woman, and she was told by Elisha, there's something in the house. And sometimes people go out to find inspiration, and sometimes go out, and it's right in your very home. Books are written, songs are written, all the visions that you've discovered, talents, don't you, in your very home. That's right in the home.
So I do
that's
feel,
it. Do you know what? Do you know what I found quite funny, actually? Because when your children were younger, there's some things that you would restrict them from being able to do, circumstances, just so that they would have time to maybe think and grow and understand the consequences and of actions and all that sort of thing. But the children are probably going to an age now where the action of that football.
I know.
They still can't beat this. They can't.
I think
Are you being biased there, Sharon?
No, they still can't. They try, but they still can't.
There's still always that boy in you. When I see a ball, I just want to get out there, and my daughters will tease me and say, "Oh, Daddy, come on, sit down, sit down, or give it up now." I say, "No, it's still."
But they were on the sideline cheering you on.
So I had a flashback, and I thought, gosh, so it happened. But I give God thanks. In all things, give thanks.
Look at now.
Okay, so we'll go back, because I want to just, I want to find out what your inspirations were. Obviously, the music has an eclectic mix of different genres, as you said, to cover all the different, probably just your taste. I'd like to know what your inspirations were, because of course, to have that sort of mix of different influences, it would have been what comes in comes out. Obviously,
It was a skillful work of the producer as well.
As well. I mean, I told him exactly what I wanted. He said, "What do you want?" After we wrote the song, I said, and the producer, Paul, I told him exactly what I wanted. And I guess over the years, I listened to jazz. I'm quite versed in my taste of music. I enjoy all types of music. I like a bit of jazz. I like
reggae,
classical,
jazz, classic,
and
salsa.
And I guess back in the days, gospel artists like, I don't know, you remember Andre Crouch? I used to listen to Andre Crouch and Richard Smallwood and the Small Singers. I liked a bit of Stevie Wonder. I did like a bit of Michael Jackson. Everybody did a bit of Marvin Gaye, So I was very
and Marvin Sapp.
Marvin Sapp. So I was very versed, and I just love all types of music. If it's good and if it's clean, I'll listen to it. And
it was a skillful way of the producer. How they incorporated. They just were in your vein. They knew you, and you knew the sound.
I knew the sound.
Once you heard that sound, you knew.
Because I said, I knew exactly what I wanted. So I said, we didn't just want it,
we wanted it limitless, like the name of your show.
Right.
It's timeless as well. So it's limitless and timeless. So it incorporated all those genres, and it reflects you. The song reflects
And
him as a person.
and the message.
And me as well. We're very bubbly and
the message
happy
was,
and
the message was good. I love the message.
The message was
your past won't define you.
Yes, and it's the interpretation of scripture.
Yeah, that's right.
Well.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah, because I say something.
Anyone who's in Christ is a new creature. Old things have passed away. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, sometimes we allow our past to really keep us down, and sometimes people like to judge you because of where you're coming from.
Exactly, or what you did, or
what we did. But we're trying to say to people, don't let your past, don't let what you've been through define you, because you've got a future that's set in stone. What God has in store for you is yours.
Yes, because before we were born, before we were formed in our mother's womb, He knew us.
That's right. We can never hear this enough. We can hear it from the north, south, east, and the west. It still is not enough. Why? Because, as you said, it's a mindset.
Yes.
And if you can break the limitation, it doesn't really matter what other people think. The things when you start believing it.
Absolutely, that's the key.
Therefore,
that's the key. Sorry.
Especially when you have experienced that, and you have witnesses that can testify, that this change or this transition, so it's your lives is a message of grace. We have been graciously, placed where we are, doing what we're doing. We have what we have by grace.
Yeah, at this stage of our lives.
Yeah, this age and stage. You wouldn't believe our ages, but he's pinching me now under the table. You wouldn't believe our ages, but
you two are so funny. I really do love this.
Sometimes.
It's great. Okay, so should we listen to the song and then come back and have a bit more? That's a good idea. Okay, so this song is called A Brand New Me, everybody, and it was produced by Paul Watson and Marcus Johnson, and of course written by the lovely Reverend Sharon Doyley, and sung by the amazing Reverend Errol Doyley. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Set in stone, just like an eagle. Now I'm mounting, knowing in life I'm not alone. Your life may seem like it's going around and around. Your faith may seem like it's always uptight. Don't lose hope. You will rise is over. Oh yeah, fears are gone, making you a brand new me. Past is over. Past is over. Fears are gone. Fears are gone. Brand new me. Though your mind may be in turmoil and your heart's aching with sorrow, all you need is someone to take you to a time beyond tomorrow. Though your feet may slip and spiral through the ground, though your way seems dark and there's no light around, don't lose hope. No. You will rise again. Oh, yes, you will, Past is over. Fears are gone. Brand new me. Oh, my past is over.
I just love this song. I just
Thank
absolutely
you.
love the song. It really does pick you up, and I think it's so apt for this morning that we're starting waking up. Well, those who are still waking up to you know, it's just a really encouraging song because actually the past was a minute ago, a second ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
So those who are going through guilt and just worried about, well, I've actually had somebody who said to me during a counseling session that God wouldn't forgive me. Do you know what I've done? And I was like, oh my goodness, you are the very person that God has Jesus came for. So don't worry about it. The past is yesterday.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
yes.
That's why they say. That's why they say it came to pass.
Yes,
That it came. Oh, I
that's
like
right.
that.
It came and it
to
passed.
pass.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, and hopefully we learn from that. But what I would want to talk about now is obviously 1973. You guys got this exposure. You and your brothers to the music industry.
Yeah.
And of course, it's been a while. You've remained in the background, and you're doing ministry and still in music, but in the background.
Yeah.
Now that you're out again, and obviously you're what they call an indie in the sense where you're independent music.
Right.
You've got your own
Yeah.
record company,
Yeah.
haven't you? Isn't it Doyley Music?
Well, yeah, that's not actually. It's just what we call it. Yeah, it's just my.
what we're called.
Yeah, just what
We
we
don't
call
own
it.
a record company.
As such, yeah, as such.
But
Yeah,
you've released it self-released.
yeah,
It's
that's
self- yeah,
self-release,
we're
So,
unsigned.
yeah,
it's
unsigned.
The industry again.
Yeah,
And
that's the industry.
what some of the challenges that you face, because obviously the industry then, and now you're coming into the industry, the background, the business side of things now. How do you feel that it's changed? What are the pros and cons from someone with experience of back then when everything was pretty much done for you? Perhaps things ran a bit more smoother because you didn't have to think about all of that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And now and what you're learning from this experience as independent.
Yeah, I think yeah, back in the 80s, the 70s when we were signed, and I think that it was a lot easier then. Things like advertising. Now you release your own music, you gotta make sure you got a good social media platform. You gotta make sure you got your Instagram going, your YouTube. But from my experience back in the days, we signed a contract, signed with a record label, and you sat back. They did everything.
Yeah.
Just waited. Oh yeah, your next appointment is here. You got a radio interview here. You're going to be on the TV. But now we've got to constantly be doing it ourselves. So I think it's a lot. But in a sense, we doing it on your own. I guess
it's more personalized. Isn't
it's
it?
more personalized, and I think so. This, as I say, swings and roundabouts. But I do think it's I think like myself as the as the artist, because as you said, we're indie, we're on our own, so we've got to do more of the work, more of the footwork, more of the making sure that this is in place.
I think
Distribution is a big thing as well, isn't it? Getting people to hear the song, because as you can understand, a song like this would heal so many.
I think
but they need to hear it.
That's right.
And I think you're so right there. That's one of the, I guess, because we played the song to a lot of producers, and the first thing they say, Errol, if people got to hear it, and it's that side of thing, it's promotion side, the distribution, the getting it out to the,
I think as well, just to add to what you were saying, is that having to do it now is that to get the right people, like we have somebody who's really helped a lot with the promotion side of things. Are we able to say a name?
Yes, of course, yes.
Bim. Thank you, Bim. Sorry. And then with Instagram, we have, like I said, we have 4 children between us. We have Joanna, daughter Joanna, who helps to push the Instagram, because we don't know as much as social media as they do. Then we have the producer who did the music. Then we have somebody who did the website. Then we have somebody else who does, there's something else, who does different things. And but with doing it yourself, you can make that decision who you feel is in the, who shares that same
same passion,
and
yeah.
vision and faith and enthusiasm
Yeah,
and you know, so you have that
yeah,
liberty to choose, you know, and if somebody comes in and somebody comes, Noel as well, who did the advertising, Dr. Noel, who did the advertising and the leafleting, and
it's all a
Shanice
joint
as well.
effort.
It's a joint effort,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you get people who want to, our other son, he knows music as well. So
so I think the difference is if you're signed to a major label, they take charge.
They make all the decisions.
They do the whole thing, you know.
And then you trust them. So if you've got a good management,
so I think it swings around and backs, but I think
But sometimes these record companies, some of the people within the chain may not be connected to the vision.
Exactly.
You have to have the right one. Exactly.
That's so true, because I've known many people that have signed, and the record company wanted them to go this way.
Yeah.
They said no, we want to. So they let them go because they're not going to do it their way. So I think we have the liberty here. Where we can say.
Up until now, we definitely have. It's not that we wouldn't want to be signed.
But I mean.
But at the moment.
We're just enjoying it. Just enjoying it.
I mean, there's so many, and the other thing is there are so few of the Christian record companies as well.
Yes.
But, you know, we have the challenge where you see the mainstream are not actually signing the Christians, the gospel.
Absolutely.
At the moment. So do you think that this is something that's needed in our sector, where we do need more people rising up, or perhaps an opening record companies, being brave enough to start that, perhaps? What do you think about that, as far as when we're talking about restoring the original God-given vision? Because you talked about the record company wanting to go a certain direction, and then you as the vision carrier,
right,
needing to hear from God.
Yes.
How do you think that could work out now, especially with, as I said, not many Christians are being signed?
I think they have this saying as supply and demand. I think if the secular see that we have something that there is a demand for in the world, it's just like being light in darkness, salt of the earth. So I think that, if there are more gospel record companies that are able to not be so confined to the four walls of the church, but there is a demand out in the world, and we have the supply. We have
the gift, the talent.
And we're not only just singing. We do understand the music industry. It's just like Shanice, she's done music management. We do actually have Christian music managers, producers, and artists, writers who don't need to be so confined and so constrained or restricted to.
There's so much talent, in church.
And it's exposure. Sorry.
Yes, I know. I agree with you. That word, the fact you talked about exposure just now, so just said that word. I think so. I think church might. It's just my opinion, but I would love to be corrected. Maybe church might be the place where some of these young people with so much talent, recognized, nurtured, and then the church can support them to release things. So the church becomes that record company body as such. It's putting them forward and helping them with their ministry, with their careers, and you know what I mean? Because if he's doing it, then we need
That's what we need. I think we need more. I think more support from some of our major.
But the perception, you see, it's the perception. It's as though there's a gulf between us. This is the way the church does it, and this is the way the world does it. When Jesus came, he came amongst. He was in the highways, the hedges. He was, befriending sinners. He was going. They were saying, "Don't go to Zacchaeus' house. He's a publican. He's a tax collector." I think if we incorporate and what's the word, when you collaborate, so that the young people who do have those musical gifts and talents, they're already positioned.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not like, okay, now you're going to go into the world. And no, they're already positioned there as like, sorry.
Because I've spoken to a few, I've spoken to a few like producers and musicians that have said to me, Errol, you know, church ain't helping us.
Yeah.
Sad to say. And they've gone out into the, you know,
where almost ostracized now.
They wanted the support from the church, but they said, Errol, we can't survive because the church doesn't see our vision. They're not really supporting us. So they've gone out, sadly. So I think
they go out. And a lot of the music out there that's selling a lot is inspired by church music.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
And when they do the interviews, they say they started from church.
This is some and you know, some of these well-known singers, and it's all, I started in the church. And, you know, it's
and they're made to feel that if you sing just gospel, then the value diminishes, like what your work or what your talent and your, it's like it's not as valued, or you know. But the message, as long as the message is inspirational, but we want it to lead to salvation. So it's through the interviews. When you're in mainstream, they're inspired because of the message.
That's right.
Then when you're sitting on the interviews, and then you let that, you know, your light shine, that they may see your good works, and the conclusion is come to glorify your God in heaven. You know,
and a good example. Sorry, yesterday we was in Nighttown, and then they heard the music. They was like rocking and bopping, and then
they started talking to
us. Say, oh yeah, what church? And it
share your faith.
So just the, you know,
but the positioning,
and the message, and we were able to witness to something and say, well, this is where our church is, you know.
So our prayer is.
I personally think that the fivefold ministry should open up record companies.
Absolutely.
To equip the saints.
To equip the saints, exactly.
That's right.
To give the saints a platform, to give the saints a support, to give the saints
employment as well.
Because then they realize, actually, there's something in this church that helps my ministry to flourish. You know, there's something. And so that's why you taking the lead as such, the baton, and in your church, and saying, right, this is what I did when I was young. I'm going to do it again to show you musicians that are sleeping as such.
Wake up.
You can wake up.
Hope. Give hope, because sometimes their efforts feel futile. But today we can say the fruit, because one plants, another waters, but it's God that brings the income. Promotion comes neither from the east nor from the west, but it comes from God, you know. So woo.
It's good.
That's you know. So I think, you know, the fact when I saw on, you know, the write-up that I saw, you know, Doyley music, I was like, wow, this is good. This is a good start, I think. And I feel that, you know, if other musicians can go through that as well, what an array of talent will get a chance to.
Absolutely.
And then of course the congregation will come to hear, will come to support, and will be blessed as well, and new talent will spring from there. So it's a beautiful thing. So tell us, what do we have to look forward to? What's the future hold for Doyley music, for your writing, Sharon, and also for your, you know, your ministry?
Well, it is a project, isn't it?
Initially it was approached as a song.
Initially it was approached as a song, but
we want it to become a project.
Definitely. So we're hoping to write, to continue writing, and to get another release out
very soon. We've written another song.
So we're just so that's timely. We're just but that's the vision to.
And also we wanted to use the song itself as a tool for maybe mental health, NHS, education, because the message is brand new, and sometimes people are bound by their current circumstances. Is not their conclusion. Your current circumstances does not have to be your conclusion. And so the final. So we would like to use the song "A Brand New Me" as a tool to go into maybe mental health projects or centers and schools, you know, as they grow in their education, that as you learn, you become new. But yeah, we're writing. We've done another song, so
that's amazing. Well, we don't know when that's going to be released. We just have to watch that space.
we watch that space.
Yeah, we're working on that one. So but we're excited.
Yeah,
about
I can tell. I can see all of your faces that it's something good is coming.
We're naturally like this. Breakfast.
Oh wow! So you're springing forth lots of good things. It's amazing. Lots of joy, unspeakable. Okay, so I do like the statement. Your current circumstances, it's not the conclusion. Love it. So how can people follow you? How can people find out a little bit more and just find about your ministry and be able to watch that space as such?
Right. Well, I said we're on the social media platforms. We're on Errol Doyley Music, Instagram. Website is a brand new me.co.uk. YouTube channel. So we're quite. Have I missed anything?
Follow us there. Just the face.
And our church is based in Eltham.
Bethel Mount Calvary Ministries, UK.
We're based in Eltham. So check us out, and we'll be happy to see you. And we just want to thank everybody for just supporting us and following us and and subscribing. That's very important to the YouTube. I had great encouragement from everyone all over. It's been great, and it's a real pleasure being on your show this morning. It's really has been nice. Thank you for making us so comfortable. That's it.
Absolutely amazing. And anytime you come back, please, when you play next track, I'm excited. I want to hear it. So please and tell us all about that again. But it's been a real pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
And I look forward in anticipation to your next release.
Thank you.
So until the next time, we're going to play your song out, actually.
Oh, thank you. Great.
Hear that song again. But, I think at this time, it would be really good if you can just, both of you just look at the screen and just give a word of encouragement to anyone out there, anything that the Lord is laying on your hearts, any word of encouragement, anything that you feel that will just pick people up and just help them to renew their mind in any way today. Yeah, that would be really good. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, as you said, just to say, whatever you might be going through, whatever your challenges might be, don't be disheartened. God has something in store for your life. God knows the way that we go. Scripture says the steps of a good man is ordered by the Lord. So whatever you're going through, whatever challenges you might be going through, don't let your current situation define where you are going, because your future is set in stone and God has a plan for your life. Go ahead, Sharon. God said, I know the thoughts I have towards you. He's thinking good thoughts. Good thoughts, not evil, good thoughts. To prosper you and to give you a future and an expected end. And so the song is a brand new me. The past is forgotten in the sea of forgetfulness, never to be recalled, never to be remembered. And so this day is a new thing. It's a new day. And new things are springing forth suddenly, instantly. What would have taken a year is taking a month. What would have taken a month is taking a week. What may have taken a week will take a day. Even in 24 hours, something brand new is coming forth for you. Amen. A miracle, a blessing, a turnaround, a breakthrough, a healing, a recovery, a restoration. And so, God bless you today. God bless you. Amen. We love you and thank you. Thank you, Maria. We love you and we appreciate you.
Love you too. Love you too. Rivers of spring water. Oh my goodness, I can feel it. Thank you so much. Amen. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Bye. Oh my goodness. What a lovely, lovely couple. Full of love. Oh my goodness. I told you, love and inspiration on a Saturday morning. And we certainly have received that this morning. Okay, so that's me saying goodbye for now. And of course, we're going to be playing that song out. And until next week, goodbye and God bless.
My past won't define me, no, 'cause my future's set in stone. Just like an eagle, now I'm mounting